This is a Mercedes CLA Estate, a car which I've been wanting to buy for quite a while. I've had quite a few standard CLAs, but I've always liked the look of the Estate. They're quite slug-like, but an attractive slug. So when I saw this one at a local auction with a grade 2, I believe, and an all-green report, I thought I would hop straight on it, especially as it has a couple of £1,000 worth of nice specification, like the panoramic roof and this metallic paint and the 18-inch alloy wheels. But as can be the case with auction cars, this one does have a little bit of a problem that I wasn't expecting, and that is that the DPF is blocked. It's got the ultra reliable Mercedes 2.1 diesel engine that they fit in absolutely everything, along with their automatic gearbox, which also usually doesn't give you too many problems. I've had cars with this engine and gearbox well over 250,000 miles. So this at 94,000, I was hoping should be pretty good. But a clock DPF can strike at any time, I suppose. So currently the car drives, but it's in limp mode. It's not giving us an engine management light. I think Ben did a sort of preliminary look into it and said the DPF is blocked. Now, there are lots of options for trying to sort your DPF. Lots of people will cut them open, empty them, and map it out, which is an option, but probably not a legal one. You can also put an on-car DPF cleaner on there and hope that it will clear. You can do force regens, which I'm sure we've tried, where you can plug the car in and force it to rev highly, which heats up the DPF and hopefully burns off the carbon. That hasn't been a successful option for us either. But there is another option that I've been wanting to try and to show you guys for quite a while, because when I had Barra Motors, I was very tempted to invest in this solution because it's a pretty clever little bit of kit and could have been quite profitable for us. So what we're going to have to do is let Ben chuck this in the workshop, get it on the ramp, get the DPF off, and then we will take it for a little drive just up the road and see if we can't get it sorted.
Okay, so Joe's asked me to check out this car, give it a full inspection, and of course tackle what we thought at least was a DPF issue. The inspection came back pretty good, to be fair. Done all my checks, suspension, had it up in the air, checked underneath, and the only thing I found was the tyre here on the passenger front is slightly low on tread and just wearing on the shoulder. So I would advise there. We'll pop a new tyre on, have a wheel alignment done, and that'll be absolutely fine. But previous to that, we did have an engine management light on. When I've cleared the fault code, taken it for a drive, we've had DPF codes come back. But I've had a little chance now to plug the scan tool in and actually get it on the ramp and have a look at it. I think the fault code we need to focus on first is the EGR. We have a P0401, which is insufficient flow. And just, you know, moving my hand around the engine bay and having a little look, I think I've accidentally fixed this. We have a little valve, a little flapper thing on the EGR here, and it was actually seized solid. And it wasn't until I gave it a really good kind of click that it's, you know, loosened up and it actuates fine now. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take the pipe off that comes from the EGR into the intake, and we'll get a good idea of, you know, is it clogged up? We can put a camera in there. We can see what's going on with that flap as well. And I think that would be a really good starting point to try and tackle this fault. Okay, so we've got all the bolts out now. So let's just give this pipe a wiggle. And there we have it. So that there actually obviously looks really, really bad, and it's not great, but I've seen much, much worse, to be fair, especially with the mileage of the vehicle. You know, I'm not horrendously surprised. So we can clean all that up. We can clean through the pipe here. It's not the end of the world. Let's get the camera in now. We'll shove it down the inlet and we'll go back into the EGR here and we'll see the state of things inside. Okay, so I'm looking at the shut-off valve now, and there's definitely some carbon build-up in there. It looks a bit wet, but this car has been sat and it's probably got a lot of condensation going on, so I don't think that there's any, you know, coolant leaking through the EGR. I think this is just a heavy build-up of carbon that's absorbed all that condensation, but again, not really the end of the world. I definitely think we need to chuck a cleaner through it, tidy everything up, but that's not too bad. Let's have a look inside the EGR now, and we'll take a look at this flap that was seized. Okay, so that's the flap you were seeing, and as you can see, very little carbon build-up there, certainly nothing that's going to cause any issues there. So I think what the issue was here was that the bushing on this arm had actually seized, and that's why this flap was stuck and this actuator couldn't overcome that and move it. I'm going to lubricate this bushing here, make sure that's not going to seize up again. We'll clean up that pipe and we'll run some cleaner through the whole system as well. Take it on a test drive and see what happens before the car would immediately go into limp mode before you've even got to the end of the road. So that's going to be the real test of things. We'll do all this work, take it on a test drive, and fingers crossed that sorted it. So that pipe was definitely blocked, and now we've burnt all that carbon up. If I give it a tap, there you go. See all that carbon falling out of there now. It's looking much, much better. I think a couple more rounds of the blowtorch here, and I'll run the camera through just to make sure it's all clear. But yeah, you can do it with a pipe brush and cleaner and stuff. I think you'll be there for ages. This method's quick and easy. Okay, so that's the pipe cleaned up now, and it looks as good as new. I've checked it with the camera and it's totally clear now, no blockages whatsoever, and it likely only blocked because this actuator valve was sticking. So let's pop it back in, and we'll clear the engine codes, take it on a test drive, and if it's all good, I can just hand it back to Joe and just advise that we've got to sort the tyre on it. So if you don't hear anything more from me, that's because we fixed it. But if you see me again, it's not worked.
We've already washed this car once before, so this is kind of more of just a quick prep wash ready for the polishing. We're going to run it over to the valet bay and get on with correcting this paintwork. So, outside's been washed, gonna jump on with polishing it. The paintwork's not that bad, can't hurt to make it that little bit better, can it?
Right, here we are in the CLA again, and it seems to be driving absolutely beautifully. Sadly, it's not clean anymore, because yesterday I took this 350 miles up to Derby and back to see our friends at Khaki to pick up a future competition car, which we will blur out in this picture here, but definitely keep your eyes out for that on Feel Good Comps. The car was absolutely faultless, had all the power we wanted, was really good on fuel, and we didn't have any DPF or EGR problems whatsoever. But I wanted to take this just to make sure we'd given it a thorough run before we sell it on to anyone else and find out that the EGR problem was just masking something else. While it's good news that it was less of an issue than I was expecting it to be, it kind of ruined my plans, because what I expected to happen in this video was for Ben to take the DPF off this car, and we were going to take it to our friends at Mobile Eco Tuning in Weston-super-Mare, because they have very fancy DPF cleaning machines. You put it in a case and it pumps it out, and something comes out looking like a very bad curry, and it's all cleaned out and working as you'd expect again. We've done this before in the past. I've wanted to go and film it because it's quite an interesting process, at least I think, but we didn't actually need to this time, so keep your eyes peeled. In the future we will be going and doing that. But if you run a workshop, then it's worth getting in touch, because when I had mine, I was very much thinking about getting one of these machines, because they charge 200, maybe a bit more, to clean a DPF, and they would have them delivered to their door, quite often by the motor factors. They'd obviously worked out some kind of deal, and they would just clean these things out day in, day out, because DPFs aren't expensive. Anyway, cheeky little plug for them there, because they've helped us out in the past. You can check them out down below. So good result really. We are left with still a small profit margin, but a small profit margin is better than no profit margin, which is what I was worried was going to happen with this car, because we bought it based on it being a good car, and it had problems, but it was actually quite minor to sort out, so we got quite lucky. But that is it for this video really. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe. You can do that by clicking up here, and if you want to watch another video like this where Ben has fixed something and we've managed to make a little profit, you can click down here. But that's it for this time. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.